declared and configured the TypeScript configuration file. We have declared a new custom command using TypeScript. We add it to the chainable interface of Cypress, and then this function is gonna be returning nothing. That's why this is a void function. Hey masters, welcome back to another amazing video of Cypress.io. Today we are gonna be integrating TypeScript with our framework. If you want to learn Cypress, as you know, in this channel you're gonna find a playlist named Cypress Tutorial for Beginners, where you can start from scratch learning Cypress. Today we're gonna have a basic TypeScript video where we are gonna be installing the library of TypeScript, so we can play around with creating custom commands, learning how to use together TypeScript with Cypress, and well, probably you find this useful if you have a future interview or if you want to start using TypeScript together with an automation tool. So thank you very much for clicking on this video. This is JoanMedia, and let's start with this amazing adventure. So the first step that we have to do, well, I want to introduce a bit what is TypeScript, because probably there is people who doesn't know actually how to use TypeScript or what is TypeScript. Okay, so basically TypeScript is a programming language developed by Microsoft. It is a strict syntactical superset of JavaScript and adds optional static typing to the language. All right, so it means that if you are or if you know how to program in C# or Java, for example, the TypeScript library is gonna be something like that. Now you're gonna have to declare a type of variable, right? As you know, for example, in Java you have to declare at the beginning of the variable declaration, well, the type of the value that you're gonna handle, if it is a string, an integer, or a boolean, and so on, right? So TypeScript, among other features, of course, is gonna allow you to declare and actually configure the type of the value that we're gonna be handling as a variable, right? So for example, this ID is gonna be a number, and in case I send a string over here, we're gonna have a kind of warning or an error, and we are not gonna be capable to compile the TypeScript code and run it as a JavaScript. So as I'm telling you, this is just one amazing feature that TypeScript has. It has a lot of more of them, but well, I just want to give you a bit of context of what is happening behind the scenes, when we are gonna be executing the Cypress tests in this framework. Okay, so let's go ahead and install TypeScript in Cypress. This is gonna be in my Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I'm gonna actually delete all the stuff that I had in my terminal, and I'm gonna run npm install save dev TypeScript. Okay, as soon as as soon as it finished the downloading part, you can see that in the package.json now we have a TypeScript dependency over here. Okay, the first thing that we have to do to configure TypeScript is gonna be declare under the Cypress folder a tsconfig.json file. Here you're gonna have to define some parameters related to the TypeScript configuration, right, as the file name says. So Cypress here recommend a basic configuration. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna paste it in my Visual Studio Code. As you can see over here, the types will tell the TypeScript compiler to only include type definitions from Cypress. Why? Because as you can see over here, there are some namespaces globals incompatible versions will cause the package manager to nest and include multiple definition, and it may cause conflicts. That's basically why we are defining this over here. We also configuring this to use ES5. This is the recommendation, right? And also we have include where we're gonna be targeting the different TypeScript files under probably integration, right, which is the default folder that we have over here. So as soon as you have done this, we can come here to the integration folder and create a new folder named, for example, TypeScript demo. And inside of this folder, I'm gonna create a new file, which is gonna be ts/demo.ts. this extension file is the one that we use for TypeScript files, right? So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna, well, do the same stuff as always. I'm gonna create a describe. As you can see right now, the describe is actually expecting a string, because, well, it is already using TypeScript, and all the definitions of Mocha and Chai are already defined and are actually usable. So we are not gonna find a lot of differences using Cypress itself. However, when you want to create a custom command, or when you need to handle variables, or if you wanna, well, go deep in and create some custom stuff, well, you're gonna need to know TypeScript to well, play around with these configurations, right? So I'm gonna create a describe here, which is gonna be TS demo, for example, and, well, I'm gonna do I'm gonna create an it. Okay, this it is gonna be named success login without custom commands. Okay, this is gonna be pretty simple. Actually, I'm gonna explain you the command, because if you already saw the last video that I created about custom commands, well, under the support folder I have a file here named commands, right? In this folder I created before a type login function, right? This function actually is going to well, it is gonna be targeting the username input, which is in the Sauce Lab website, which is the website that I'm gonna be using for this video, right? And in this website, as you can see, we have to locate and target the username input, the password input, and the login button in order to, well, get and actually log in as expected, right? It is important to mention that it is going to be expecting to have the standard user as a correct username and a secret sauce as a correct password in order to, well, log in correctly. So as you can see, I have a scikit over here to target the username, I have a scikit here to target the password, and then another one to target the login button, and it is actually expecting to receive the username as parameter and the password as parameter, so I can type it in the UI. So I'm gonna copy this because I don't want to do overwork, right? And, well, instead of receiving the parameters, I'm gonna be entering the username itself and also the password. Okay, so as soon as I have done this, I'm gonna change this the values itself to standard user and secret sauce. And probably if I come here and if I run the terminal, right, which is npm run cypress open, well, in my case, right, it is Cypress open, and you're gonna be capable to run the test runner. And if I come here and I look for the well, the TypeScript folder, now we have a tsdemo.ts file. So if I execute this, you're gonna see that probably it is gonna be working. And, well, there is no difference between a normal JavaScript and TypeScript in this case. But in this case, I'm also doing a failure because I'm not visiting any website. I'm sorry for that. So I'm gonna visit, well, my favorite website, which is saucedemo.com. Okay, I'm gonna paste it over here, and now I'm gonna run the command again. Okay, let's take a look of this. Everything is working fine as a normal JavaScript, as we have, well, learned from the past, right? However, I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna grab this URL, right, which is inventory.html. This is gonna happen after you log in correctly, right? As you can see, as soon as I click on this, now we have the inventory.html word at the bottom of the URL, right, at the end. So I'm gonna create a function to validate the URL of this website after I do the click, right, or I make the click. So it is gonna be something like sci.url should, because it is gonna be an assertion, and here we are gonna equal, or actually expect that the URL that it is grabbing or getting from the website, well, it is gonna be equal to, well, the URL that I have that I just copy, right? So as you can see, it is gonna be working. Now, as I told you before, when you're gonna play around with variables, well, you need to know a bit of TypeScript, because, for example, if I create a URL let variable here, right, and I assign this variable this value, it is gonna work. However, we are not using TypeScript in this case. However, if I specify the string type, you're gonna see that now the URL is gonna have a interesting behavior. If I enter a number here, you can see that it is saying that the type number is not assignable to the type string. So now we are expecting the string type, and no matter what, it is gonna be dependent on the type that we have defined. All right, here the stuff is gonna be start changing, right? And that's why it is important to handle well and learn TypeScript, because there are different stuff that you need to know, right? So over here I'm gonna expect the URL, right? That's fine, and I'm gonna rerun this again, and as you can see now it is working as expected. Now let's imagine that I want to create a custom command like this one, but now in TypeScript. You are probably wondering what are the difference in this case. So I'm gonna come here to the support folder. I'm gonna create a new file, and I'm gonna name it commands.ts. okay, I'm gonna copy and paste the same command. It is the same one but as you can see here, we have a kind of error, and it is saying that the argument of type login is not assignable to the parameter of the type give of chainable any. Okay, so here we have to do another stuff. I'm gonna create a new file under the support folder, and it is gonna be called index.ts. okay, this file is gonna need to contain this structure: declare namespace Cypress. Okay, that's fine. Then we're gonna be opening the brackets, and then we have to call the interface that we require, which is chainable. And then inside of this interface, we have to bring the type command to the chainable interface, and inside of this type login, we have to define the type of function that we want to declare. So it is gonna be expecting two different parameters, right, which are username and password over here, but we have to define the type of variables that we require. In this case, both of them are a string, and it is important to mention, as you can see, it is expecting an arrow function, right? And you probably are wondering why, because we have to define what is going to be returning the function. In this case is going to be void. We're not going to require to return nothing from this function. In case you do, you're going to have to handle a string or a number, or depending on your case, right? In this case is going to be void. That's fine. So as if I come back to the commands.ts file, you can see that now the type login is free of warnings, right? And I can use it in our test. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to the TS demo, and I'm gonna create a new it over here. Okay, this it is gonna be success logging with custom commands. Okay, so this is gonna be an arrow function too. Sorry for that. Let me see what is happening here. There it is. And what we have to do is call the CY, I'm sorry, and the custom command that we have declared, which is type login. Okay, and then it is going to be requiring two different parameters: the username, which is a string, as you can see over here, and the password which is also a string. Okay, so I'm gonna send the standard username as a first parameter, and then I'm gonna copy and paste the second parameter, which is another string. So as you can see, it is working. I'm gonna copy and paste the assertion, and I'm gonna run again the command, actually the execution, right? And as you're gonna see, we are having issues because we need to do the site visit. If I don't do that, it is not gonna be visiting the website, of course. So there it is. Now it is working as expected over here. And we're now using TypeScript to declare a custom commands. And as you can see, this is the way to, handling this kind of scenarios. I hope that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button too, and I hope to see you in the next one. So thank you very much for watching the whole video. Thank you very much and see you in the next one. Bye bye.